What's up everybody, this is Luca and today we're gonna talk about how to improvise over a static diminished chord and going from this to this after 1 day of practice. What's up everybody, this is Luca, welcome to my YouTube channel once again. If you didn't do already, please subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell. Today we're gonna talk about how to improvise over a static diminished chord. So a good friend of mine, his name is Paul Orlov, he's an amazing bass player. I will put the link of his YouTube channel down in the description below. He sent me this track and he wanted me to play some guitar parts and a guitar solo. The guitar solo happened to have a long section over a C diminished chord, and actually I was like, okay, I don't really know anything about. I mean, I know like the C diminished arpeggio. I think everybody knows that, and I know the diminished scale. But I didn't have any licks, any phrase, anything. So I thought, well, I don't know anything, but maybe I can make a video about my process of build some licks and some structure that I can actually use to perform a solo over a chord that I never practiced before. I started to messing around with this scale, but nothing was coming out from it. Like, it really was sounding diminished and I couldn't relate to anything, you know, that I actually knew. So I started to look at this problem from another approach. I wrote down the scale and then I was trying to figure out if I could extract something from it that I knew already or something similar. And I got lucky because I tried to harmonize the scale and I saw that, okay, on the first degree you have a C diminished arpeggio, and I already played that, not really that great. But on the second degree you can have either a D minor 7 arpeggio or a D7 arpeggio. And I was like, okay, that's interesting. And then since the scale is a symmetric scale, I knew that everything I could build on the D, I could use also on the 4th and on the 6th grade of the scale, and even at the 8th one, because the C diminished scale is a 8-note scale. So wow, that was great. I know more stuff related to D minor 7 or D7. So I started to figure out on the guitar a shape that for me is familiar, and I found out this shape that for me is really common, and the shape is this one on D. So yeah, this is like the D7 arpeggio, and then I realized that I could play the major third and the minor third at the same time, so I can have this. Like the bottom two strings are kind of tricky, so I was focusing more on the top 4 strings, and this shape actually was really useful. And also I knew that I could use this shape also on F and on A flat and on B. So I started to build some licks inside of this box, of this shape, using the mechanics that I had already. So I could relate something that was out completely of my comfort zone to something that I knew already. after spending some time with it, I came up with 10 licks. So I want to show you guys some of these licks, and the first one goes like this. So okay, the first lick that I'm playing, I'm using the shape of B7 mixolydian. Okay, so basically he has 7, the root, the minor third, the major third, the 5th, and the 7. So it's something that most of you guys know already, you know, because it's on B7. It's really common. So I used also downward pick slanting mechanics to play this lick. But for me it's easy. I can reach like high speed with these mechanics and without thinking too much about the picking. Okay, so that was pretty cool. The second lick I want to talk to you about is this one. And this lick for me has a really interesting mechanic. I'm playing this lick of the F mixolydian shape, just the top 2 strings, okay? And the cool thing that I noticed is that I can switch from this particular shape to actually the Dorian shape. So from the major third, root, minor 7 and 5th to the minor third, root, major 6th and 5th. So the nice mechanic for me is having the ability to use the downward pick slanting here. Okay. The third lick that I want to talk to you about is this one. This lick is pretty much the same as the first one, but I included the jazz way, you know, to connect different patterns. So the lick goes like this. And yeah, basically from here then I can repeat it. So I can do something like this. And this is cool, you know, you can create some longer lines if you want to, and you don't really have to be mental about it because it's always the same shape, you're just connecting them. Okay, then I wanted to have something with more like a bebop character, so I wrote down this lick. Okay, so this lick, yeah, it has more the diminished flavor. This is acromatics. This note it's not into the diminished scale, but this is something that a lot of jazz players would do, and so yeah, why not? And for me, like, sounds more like a bebop phrase. I can imagine like saxophone players play this kind of stuff. And yeah, so since like the track is jazz fusion style, I thought that having some bebop licks would help for my vocabulary, you know? So yeah, that's why I wrote down this one. The next lick is this one. And this lick actually, I started to think about B minor pentatonic. And the lick that I usually play, it's this one. So yeah, again, downward pick slanting, it's Eric Johnson flavor. And I knew that I had to change some notes. So instead of the fourth, I would play the flat 5 and the 5th. So it goes like this. And from here, again like the lick before, and then connect to the B shape. So yeah, I connected here again something that I know to something that I already built, you know, and this is pretty much this is the logic behind it. You can't create something out of the blue, but you have to relate all the time to something that you know already. Okay, then the last lick, it's more complex lick, it's more longer lick, and it goes like this. So this lick is technically less challenging, but it has more interesting rhythm. I was inspired by a Chick Corea concert, an early one where Scott Henderson was playing, and I remembered he was playing something like that, so I didn't go to check out that video, but I remembered kind of the shape and the rhythm was something like that. I started to mess around with this particular shape. 7, I'm thinking about B7 right now, so minor 7, root, major 3rd, and sharp 4, so it's kind of a Lydian sound. So I started to play around with also here, you know, the distance is always the minor 3rd. And so I came out with this lick. This is the first part, and the second part is okay. And also here I wanted to create a polyrhythm. It's not really a polyrhythm, it's just like a phrase of 6 notes, or I don't know, I have to count them, but and then trying to move it around the beat to create more interesting flow. Again, I relate this particular thing to something that I knew already, or something that, you know, I was listening before. So again, I also mentioned these kind of techniques in a previous video that I made, like how to improvise, like 5 tips to improvise. Yeah, wasn't actually improvisation, it's lick building. But if you want to improvise for real, you have to build some material, some nice things, because otherwise, as I mentioned before, when I was trying just to playing the C diminished scale, I couldn't play anything that was interesting. The purpose of this video is to share with you the process, sharing the approach that I have when I have to start to improvise over a track or over something that I don't really have anything ready for it. It's kind of like trying to demystify the improvisation as a thing that you have to know like everything out of the blue. It's not like that. You have to be prepared for something. Then of course over the years you have a huge lick bag and you will be used to improvise over so many different situations, so maybe you don't have the need to create your own licks again, because maybe you will have plenty of that, but I'm not at that level yet, so I don't know. This is the way I'm doing it, and I hope that you guys find it useful. So if you want guys to check the final solo that I will record on the Paolo's track, please click the link in the description down below and subscribe to his channel so you'll know when our track will be ready. So guys, thank you very much. I hope you liked this video. If you have any question, please write down in the comments below. Tell me if you do this already or if you didn't understand some of the things that I mentioned in the video. All the links are in the description if you want to check out my gear and everything. So thank you very much guys, and see you soon. Bye!